Hi all, we're back with more Skies Above Britain. This is my chapter 3, patrol 5, and I think this is part 3, isn't it? So, looks like we're done, I think. Right, we've got 5 bomber kills there. All the Keta, so I've got 9 Keta showing scored down here. I've only got 2 Keta up there, so I must have chucked the other ones away. So I think we're done with all this. I've got this sitting down at escort exit. I just didn't get. Should have looked at the video, I suppose. The previous video. So I think that's where we're at. Right, I'm gonna. Well, let's wrap it up first before we talk about a few things. There's still this bit coming up about the escort reaction, and I think it seems clear that Stu's happy doing it the way he's done it from the start, but I don't think he feels that the designer's answer to it all is quite clear. Oh, look, let me come back to it in a minute. Let's get this finished, because there's a few comments as well that are quite interesting. So it looks like I've got this marked, so we're on that escort exit. So, but I'm pretty sure we're finished. Well, hang on, what comes next? Channel patrol, and then after that reform, and then after that raid vector. Right, hang on, I better check this, because there is a little bit more to do, but then I think that's maybe why I left things and didn't finish it, and probably ran out of time as well. Well, give me a sec to look at that last bit of the video. It is as it seems that we're on this step, and we do have this. So escort exit. There is a 10, I want to say, under here for the one. Oh, there's 110s as well. So there is a 12 for the 110s this time. I think this is probably irrelevant, but we're off for the 109s first. I don't know. Those was at Mars. Generally, these things you do the 109 thing first, don't you? So it might be. So 109s need a 10. No, and the 110s need a 12. So no. So there's there was only the 2. So nothing escort exit, and then channel patrol. There's not a channel patrol number in there. There's not a black number in there, so that's fine. So reform, none of that. Raid vector, okay. So, and all of this is right. All the things we were doing here were right. Tim confirmed that. I think Stu confirmed that. Sometimes the way he writes things down, I get a bit muddled up, but I think he was saying I done it right in his own kind of way. But this was, of course, this was a previous patrol that this came up, and it's happened again this time. Anyway, so we're going to just reveal that one marker. So this could mean, what I don't want to see here really is flak. And we get some. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I mean, it is only a 1, but okay, the sun's gonna even clockwise, odd counterclockwise. That's probably not relevant. It is even, so clockwise it's going to move from the port to the nose. That's that. Now there's one flak. I'm not going to bother trying to dish it out to these bombers over there, and makes no odds. However, we are going to get friendly fire on one of these. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a 1 to 9, I'll re-roll a 10 to 12. We get a 2. It is red 2, who is Moffat. It's Andy. He's got no ammo. He is getting a hat, and nothing he can do about it. That's just a straight up hit, this, isn't it? Yeah, that's a hit marker. Yeah, okay. So hopefully it's a decent one. How many? There must be a lot of 9s in there, in particular 9 cockpits. I know this is a 9 engine, but 9 cockpits, 9 engines. Seems to be a lot. Must be a lot of 9s, I think. Right, and we resolve that straight away. So, even a big roll here. Here we go. And it's not to be. So That's a worry with these things, isn't it? So that goes away. It's going to the engine. Red 2 is going to the engine fate box. Which is up here. It's not a good one. It was red 2, which is Moffat. Yeah. He's veteran though. He does have his +1 for the pluck. So try and remember that, Grant. Looks like both they do, and Stu up there is not, unfortunately. So raid vector's done. Sorry, well that was going through them, wasn't it? Once all markers in the raid track space have been revealed, apply go to card 35 swirl again. So that has been done. Yeah, there's still no drop to bomb, something. So we're going to go to card 35 swirl again. But if all RF fighters are to be, well, no, they're not. If some RF fighters still in play, go back to card 12. Yeah, but that does take us to the end, doesn't it? Well, it's up to it's our choice right now. There's no orders to give out, so we go to card 18. And then card 18 is now where we can. Is this going to happen again? No, we're going to get patrol complete, aren't we? Right, yeah, so we are, we're returning to base. Yeah, everybody's no ammo, so, as well, so, I mean, yeah. So I'm going to return these guys to base. Again, I'm going to save a bit of time by not putting them up here. And I'm just going to grab this guy down as well. There's not an issue there. Even if the fuel... No, we're moving them up there now, Grant. So they wouldn't... Even if the fuel does move, it doesn't matter. They're going where the fuel markers are at the moment. And in fact, I'm just going to even jump ahead even more and shift the fuel back down, get ready. Because I wanted a bit of gameplay, and things are went a bit slower today than I'd hoped. I thought I was going to get at things a bit sooner than I did, but anyway, we're here now, so I don't think I'm going to get quite as much done as I'd hoped. Plus, I've got quite a few things to talk about, quite a few comments, etc. Right, so that is us returned to base. Yeah, and then we move on. There's no escort reaction because there's no fighters left. There's no fighters lost contact, so no chase, and then patrol is complete. So we go to card 36. Good stuff. Here we are again. Right, and again, they didn't drop the bombs this time. We'll put these away. I'll just shift these to the side because I'm going to be shuffling them up again quite soon. Take the sun markers away and take the raid marker away. Yeah. So yeah, I've marked everything up here. I've got 5 destroy markers. I'm just going to chuck these away as well. Just get things moving along. Put the thing called tiles away that are left. Right, we've got some pilot issues though, obviously. So let's see what's going to happen here. Yeah, so we've got 3 of them. They're all veterans, and unfortunately, like I say, Stu doesn't have his pluck available, but the other 2 do. Right, well, let's see how we get on. Well, Stu's been up here a few times anyway, so he's used to it. So we'll do left to right, top to bottom. So Moffat, engine 10 to 12, and none of these over the channel. So let's just see if we can get the 10 to 12 and be done with that. Oh, it's a 9. Oh, I tell you what, it's a 9. But remember, Grant, it's a 9. And we're just going to go and turn him upside down and say, no, it's not a 9 anymore, it's a 10. Bingo. I still had my sort of like thoughts there about, I've just missed out by 1. Right, so he's good. I'm just wondering, I'm going to check if he's fatigued. I'll put him in the fatigue box. He is fatigued. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's flown in patrol 4 and 5, so that's a bit of a pity that he survived and he's fatigued. But right, so I'll move these guys out of the fatigue boxes that are up here. I'll move Moffat. Well, I can turn them upside down now. Back up to the right way round because he's used his ability. That's fine. Right, this is Steed. This is Andrew. Again, a 10 to 12, and again he has a +1 to be able to add to some of these. Right, that's not a good one. Ooh, now Right. So yeah, I mean, Tim commented that. I mean, I spoke before about does this +1 get used for more than one, but he came back saying it does say one die roll. So it's just that we could use it as a 3 we've rolled, and you can see that we could change it to a 4 to get a crash result. Now, is that any better? You know what, it might be. It kind of is, isn't it? I mean, I could leave it here and we could get a +1 to this, but I think we should take the +1 now, eh? It's a gamble, isn't it? It's a gamble. It feels to me like I should use the +1 now so that it turns that into a 4 and a crash, and then we're checking on this column. I mean, the worst result is a killed in action. There's only a 1 to 2 here, but if we go down here, it's a 1 to 4. But we'd still have our pluck left, so there's not an awful lot in it, but this bailout number is much higher. Yeah, I'm going to use the +1 now. Controversial, maybe. And just have that result turn from a 3 to a 4, so it's a crash. And now we're going to need, well, ideally an 8+. So, well, I'll be interested to see what we roll here. If we hadn't done what we've done. Right, here we go. Oof. Well, just as well it bumped into the wall there, because it was going to be a 1. And it fell back onto a 5. So, that is a wounded result. Now, if we'd been on fire and got a 5, it still would have been a wounded result, even with the +1. Yeah, so... yeah. So it didn't make any odds there, but I suppose it might have done. I think it was wise to do that. It gave us a slightly better chance. However, hospital for Andrew. I can just turn him back up as well now. Now let's hope he was fatigued. I'm going to get the feeling that maybe he wasn't. Damn. So they haven't went the right way around. Let's just check Stu before we roll on this, just in case. He is fatigued as well. Right, that's not that I'm hoping you're going to go away, Stu. But it does mean that, yeah, we the one that went to hospital was the one that we didn't want to go to a bad place, really. Anyway, right, you slightly better box though, aren't you? But you don't have the +1, so it's an 8 to 12. So let's just do that. Oh no, that's not good. Mind you, it was only if it wasn't going to be an 8 to 12, it was only a 7 that was going to crash. So it's maybe not that terrible. Right, but we don't want to roll anything like that now. So we're now on fire, 10+, 4 to 9, and then we don't want any of the rest. So a 10+. Oh man. You're gone. Yeah, fire, 1 to 3. Didn't have your +1 wasn't helping you anyway. Oh, that's a devastating finish. So killed in action, sadly. I don't think next patrol's going to be great. Okay. Right, that was, well, like I say, the only, well, it's not really a good thing, but he was going to be fatigued, so we weren't getting to use him next turn anyway, next patrol, but we're not going to get to use him at all now, ever again, so, not so good. Okay, fuel checks, well, we've dealt with all that, there's no channel recovery, pilots, update pilot roster, right, let me sort that. So yeah, you done well, Stu. You went through, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 patrols. But yeah, you must have been in for the start. Well, yeah, clearly you flew the first patrol. Sad. So KIA for that. Another one at the hospital. Right, we can. Actually, I've got a name in mind. I had a name in mind for that, and it seems a bit harsh just wiping you out right now. I have something else maybe. It's just I've got a name for here that I thought about, and I put you in from the beginning because I used Martin's name first, which just came to my mind first, and then obviously you can maybe put under there. So I will just you're going anyway. I mean I'm going. Long time ago. I mean I don't know how many patrols, not very many. I suppose it would. Maybe you should keep track of these. I mean, I suppose what I could have done was use another pilot roster, couldn't I? But then you're using multiple sheets of paper and whatever. So I'm gonna replace Stu right away with somebody. He's going to be a green pilot. He's going to be available for next turn because remember we get a free replacement after every patrol. Okay, so that's that, and then our points have all been tallied up, I think. So we have 5 bombers and then 9 Keta. That's 14 points. Wow, I didn't realise it was that much. That's our biggest score yet. Yeah, we went in for a second round, didn't we? And 5 bomber kills. Wow. Still escort count is only 2, so 14 points. Nobody bailed out. 1 is wounded in the hospital, and 1 sadly was KIA. And then next patrol is going to be number 6. Remember, there's 8 in this chapter, so that'll be that. Right, that's our wrapped up, so we've got 17 minutes. So I suppose that'll give me a little time to just blather about a few things. About a few comments. I've got my tablet open here as well. So I don't think I looked at this yet. I mean, I linked this thread, help arrives in random selection. I spoke about it before. It's about when you're in the escort. When you're doing the escort reaction, and Stu commented again recently, well not again, but he commented recently that one of the playtesters played it that he had 2 fighters, he drew an escort reaction card, there was 2 cards, and he drew 1 card for each fighter, right? That's the way he plays it. That's the way he's always played it, and that's the way I think he's going to continue playing it, right? Now, when I came to the game, I want to say that possibly in the first patrol or 2, or maybe just first patrol, I might have done it that way. But then I looked more into it, and I came across this thread in particular, which then led me to believe, because even Tim was in the same view of this. He didn't think that fighters could be targeted more than once. It's again, I think he had watched the videos, the same videos that the guy had done, wherever they are. I think Stu linked them if you want to go and look at the comments on my. I want to say it's Chapter 3, Patrol 3, Part 3. That rings a bell where it's all kind of got brought up again. But I mean, when I seen this thread, I mean, I suppose, I do take a lot of stuff. What Martin Ackerland says, he's always helped with all the John Butterfield games, all the DDAT. Well, I say all the DDAT series, the John Butterfield DDAT series, Enemy Action series. He knows his stuff, and now he's cringing and saying, "Stop it, Grant." But he's asking this question. I mean, he's learning this game as well. This was back January 28, 2023. So, it's not a recent comment, or question, should I say. But I was, Martin talks about it, I look at it and I think, but this was coincidence that it was him that asked this question, because I just went searching for an answer to the question myself. And the question that I wanted to know was, can an RAF fighter be selected and attack more than once? Which is what Martin's just asked. When help arrives, you select RAF fighters randomly. Can an RAF fighter be selected and attack more than once? That's his question. I'm not going to go over the second question. It's more about he's curious about why this is. Well, let's not concern ourselves with the second question, right? So let's see the answers before we see Jerry White's answer. So Tom Castle, who's know the name, he's answered quite a lot of stuff, knows his stuff. I think you're meant to draw each advantage card and fully resolve the resulting dogfight before proceeding to the next. If this is correct, there is possibility that an aircraft could survive the dogfight and then face another attack, though it's far more unlikely to be sitting on the fate display instead. Yeah, okay, it is maybe more likely to do that, but so Tom's view on it is that it could face another attack, which means it could receive another card. Well, it could receive another attack. So anyway, however, there's James Daly. I haven't come across it. Well, the name's not jumping out to me, but that doesn't mean he doesn't know his stuff. I'm not saying that. My interpretation has been that a fighter can only be targeted once. So that's what his view is. Again, I'm not going to look at question 2. So here's Jerry White. He's the designer, right? So, and I spoke about this comment before because, I mean, it's not how you want the designer to kick off an answer, really, is it? The rules are not explicit on this, so there is wiggle room here. So that's not how you want it starting off. But anyway, I get the feeling that Jerry White, his games, he wants to leave things open for the player. It's a solo game, and this type of thing probably suits the likes of Stu because I think I come into a comment later on about house rules. Well, we'll get to that. So, you know, this is Jerry wants to keep his games open to do what you think is right and whatever. You know, so this is why it's coming like this. Not really my cup of tea, that, but it clearly suits others. Stu's played so many games of this game, so many patrols and whatever. He's still going to play it the way he's done it. He's happy with it. He's got lots of different other house rules, I believe, and he's happy doing it. But me, I'm looking for the answer. I want it written down. So anyway, so there's wiggle room here. But so he says either draw the advantage cards all at once, distribute them randomly. Okay, so let's stop there. Either draw advantage cards all at once. So let's just say we've got 8 fighters and we've got 4 cards to deal out. So they distributed randomly. Now you might think, right, well, out of the, what did I say? 8 fighters and 4 cards. Out of the 8 fighters, hang on. Right, so there's our 8 fighters. We've got 2 cards to random. And what the wording is, either draw the advantage cards all at once. So let's just say we've drawn 2 advantage. Did I say 2? No, I said 4, didn't I? 4 cards. And then distribute them randomly. Well, I suppose the question needs to be asked there is, do you mean that, right, we randomise, let's say this guy gets 1, so he gets 1, and then we randomise it in here, and then he gets 1, then we randomise in here. Right, so it's not quite clear there if what we do is we randomise it, this one gets 1, we randomise it again, this one gets 1, we randomise it again, this one gets another 1. So it's not quite clear there, up till there, but he carries on. And to me makes it a little more clearer, although some of the wordings does make me wonder. In fact, it's the next sentence. So the next sentence says, it is possible for an RAF fighter to receive 2 advantage cards. Now, after reading over this again, I didn't realise that he had actually stated the word 2 in there because, well, what that then suggests is that we can just do what I said. We've got the 4 cards to dish out, we randomise here, he gets the first one, he gets the second one, he gets the third one, so he's now got 2. Now Jerry says you can do that. Stu says you can't do that. He says that you've got to, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. That's how he does it. And you know, I can understand it's not clear. There's wiggle room. There's wiggle room. So but anyway, what the important bit there is the designer is saying that one of these aircraft can get attacked. And unfortunately the wording he says 2, so to me it means what he said there, they can get attacked twice. Well, what if we randomise the 4 cards? This one gets 1, this one gets 1, this one gets the second one, the third one, so he's got 2. This one then gets the fourth one, He's got 3. Well, he only says 2. So, I would like to think that what he means is there is more than once, but he doesn't say that. He says 2. So is that a limit? I mean, if it is, there's nothing in the rules that say that. There is, however, a bit of doubt in the rules to whether they can receive more than 1, but there's nothing to say that they can only receive 2. So I think it's his word in there that's let things down a little bit. So let's carry on and finish it. I suggest not applying both advantage cards simultaneously. Do one at a time. Yeah, that's a bit confusing. I mean, simultaneously do one at a time. I don't know what he means there, because if this guy's got, like, I can take these. In fact, these are going to shuffle up, and there's 2 there, right? If we've randomized, well, let's just play it, right? I said we had 4 cards, right? Let's just say that we've randomized it. This guy's got 1 card. This guy's got 2 cards. Right, zoom out, Grant, so we can see things. And let's just say this other guy got the other card, right? So he's got 2. Now, Stu, the way Stu plays this is he wouldn't have 2. He wouldn't have 2 attacks, right? So what does this mean? I suggest not applying both advantage cards simultaneously. Do one at a time. The obvious thing for me is we flip this over. We do a dogfight with this. We resolve it, and then we do another dogfight with this. Where did that come from? Is it red leader? Yeah, it is. Hang on, let me put the cubes back. Right, so, you would never think of turning these both over, would you? Well, I suppose what he's saying is you don't do them both at once. But this is a suggestion, which again is a bit like not what you want to hear. You want the designer to tell you that you do these one at a time, not... he's suggesting that. So is he suggesting that you could do them both at the same time? Well, he's not. He's suggesting you do them one at a time, but he's not really saying you can't do them both at the same time. But anyway, okay. So moving back here, what else do we get? Do one at a time. Okay, that's how I would see that anyway. And the thing is, I'm doing it slightly differently. He says, don't reveal the second one. If the first one results in the area fighter being sent to a fate box or lost contact, then find another area fighter to apply the second advantage card to. So, okay, good. So we have this situation, and he's got 2 cards, right? And he fights this, right? Now, if he goes to the fate box through this, or interestingly, if he goes lost well, no, that would be true, because the way I do it would, because you can't help arise from lost contact. Yeah, that got cleared up for me. So if he goes to the fate box, This card then gets randomized to another fighter, and it says find another area fighter to apply the second advantage. To me, that means randomize between all these 7 again. That's what that means, and that's why I think doing it my way with this method seems easier to me anyway. But so, however, if he does survive this, he then goes on to do that one. And by the way, the other thing that Stu's saying that, and I don't agree with this either, but I'm hoping that, because Stu's recently put another question up about this, I'm hoping the designer is going to pop along, because part of Stu's question is, right, if this guy was to get attacked twice, right, by 2 Lufa advantage cards, right, he survives the first card, he then fights in this card. Stu is then saying that he's now lost contact because he's fought 2 dogfights. I don't see it. It says in the rules that if you are still engaged after round 1 of the dogfight, you go lost contact. If we fight this and succeed, and then go into that, it's not round 2 of the dogfight. It's round 1 of a different dogfight. That's how I see that, right? But that would be nice to get clarified as well. So that's about it there. And then Martin just saying thank you, and he comments about the second question, I think. there was, I want to say there's another thread somewhere that talks about doing it the way that I'm doing it. But I don't know where to start looking for that, to be honest. And you've seen the way I do it. You know, you don't really need to. I mean, what I do is, we've got 4 cards. I mean, okay, I could draw them here and keep them at the side. All I do is draw one off the top. I know how many I've got to do. I've been using the dice. I mean, maybe I should draw them all at the same time so I don't forget that I've drawn how many I've drawn. So I draw one, I randomise between these 2, right? Turns out to be that guy. We do the dog fight. If he goes into round 2, he goes lost contact, right? If he goes to the fate box, he goes to the fate box. If he survives the dog fight in round 1, he goes back here, and that card gets removed. Then we draw the next card, and it could well be him that goes through all that again. And he could go through all 4 cards, and still, to me, avoid lost contact if he stays out of dogfight cycle round 2. But again, that bit of it doesn't, maybe could be answered again. Hopefully Jerry will. But I mean, Jerry clearly states there that a fighter can be attacked twice, and there's not. I don't see. I mean, Stu was saying that it's not. I mean, he admits he's first when he answers the question. The rules are not explicit on this, but he does clearly state it is possible for an RAF fighter to receive 2 advantage cards. Maybe he needs to look into that more himself and give a different answer to that, because I don't like the fact it just says 2 advantage cards, because I think we may have randomised one fighter more than twice. And it's only since I just went back and looked at that the 2 is kind of throwing me a bit and sort of saying, oh right, well, but why would it just be 2? I don't know, you know, because you could have we had 6 cards once, and that could have been the time maybe that a fighter got attacked more than twice. But was that wrong? I don't know. Okay, well that's that situation. And like I say, Stu's sticking by his guns. That's the way he's playing it. I'm going to stick by my guns and play it my way, or the way I see it, that the designer wants you to play it. But as for the going lost contact, if that comes back to me and says, no, wait now, he's fought 2 dog fights, he's now lost contact, then fair enough. I'll accept that bit, and unless Jerry comes back and changes this fact that they can't be attacked more than twice, then I'm going to say that they can be attacked more than once. Sorry, more than twice, more than once. That's what I mean. Right, okay. Right, and I suppose I should just quickly go over. This is Stu's latest question on BGG. How do you resolve escort reaction? Draw a card. Card says, for example, 4 109s, Luftwaffe advantage cards need drawing. And there's 4 fighters in the bomber formation, right? So 4 cards, 4 fighters. Do you give each fighter a Luftwaffe advantage card? That is how I believe Stu plays it, and will continue playing it. Or roll randomly 4 times, so the same fighter might get attacked 2, 3 or 4 times. That's how I see it. Although, seeing the fact that Jerry's said just 2 times does make me wonder a bit, because 3 or 4 times is not 2 times. Anyway, and he says, if you roll randomly 4 times and the same fighter somehow manages to survive, is it lost contact? So that's the other bit that, I would like, that doesn't feel like that's been confirmed anywhere, and he does confirm that I do 1. That's what he does. So answers, Mark W, I think he's answered quite a lot on this. He says, you do 1 card per fighter, but assign cards randomly, rules page 37. That's not quite a clear answer, I think. And then, well, yeah, and I don't think Stu thinks so either. Thanks, Mark, I'm aware of the rule. Is it 1 or 2? I've always done 1. So he's not really answered if it's that or that, really. He's just said you do 1 card per fighter, but assign the cards randomly. It sounds like he's saying that he would do it the way that Stu's doing it there, but I'm not 100% sure. Because the rules here don't really make that totally clear. And that's why Martin asked that question back a year or so ago. Anyway, and so I chime in, here's a link to where I found the answer, and that's the link that I just read out to you previously. This is where sometimes it's hard to grasp the comments. It's still 2 dogfights or 4. The bomber formation has moved on, lost contact. I'm not quite sure, and I fully understand what he's meaning there. Still 2 dogfights or 4. Right, okay. So what he's saying is that he clearly believes that it should be lost contact, I think. If it's more than 1 dogfight, it's still 2 or 4. That's what he's saying. The bomber formation has moved on, he's saying. Well, yeah, possibly he's right there. I mean, the thing is, though, that they're individual dogfights, so after the first dogfight, my take is the fighter goes back to the bomber formation area. It goes back there. And then it gets targeted again and it gets knocked out again. And if it does it in round 1, it goes back again. That sounds feasible, does it not? But maybe that sounds feasible too. If the one fighter is involved in 2 different dogfights, then should he be lost contact? That's what Stu believes. Right. From the man that wrote the rules, it's not explicit. I'll always play it my way. Grant, you would hate my house rules, yeah. So I said from the man linked that, it's not explicit. I says, this seems sort of clear. It is possible for an RA fighter to receive 2 advantage cards. I mean, that is, well, it's not clear. Like I say, I follow up. Only problem I see is that it says 2, whereas I would have thought it should say more than once. And then as to Grant, you would hate my house rules. No doubt, I don't want to know about them. So but it's his game. I made a comment, which we might get to. It's his game. You can play it the way he wants to play it. I'm recording it. I want to do it by the rules. If the designer comes and tells me this is how you do it, I mean, I wish it was better than not explicit. There's plenty of wiggle room. I'd prefer a bit more authority saying this is what you do. Right, well, can I get quickly? Right, okay, a couple of comments. I went back to Chapter 3, Patrol 3, Part 2 here. I don't know if there was any before this or not, but these are some just comments on things. This is a really good, and I can't believe I've not really thought about this. I think I say here that I've got myself blinkered into thinking is what I've said. Anyway, from Tim, he says, when you're trying to isolate tiles, you're better off dividing your fighters across multiple bombers on the tile instead of piling them all up on one bomber. Otherwise, an engine hit is going to remove all those fighters from the tile. Also, if you end up destroying the bomber, you potentially lose some extra damage markers that could have stayed around. See, both of the things he highlighted, that if we get an engine hit and the bomber becomes fallen, and the explode, if we destroy the bomber and lose damage markers, I keep talking about it all the time. I say, I don't want to draw an engine hit here because it's going to remove all these, and we're trying to disrupt. I think I've been really lucky in that department. I think I've been very lucky, and this, maybe if I hadn't been so lucky with that, and maybe things were falling out more often, I maybe would have then realised this. But anyway, brought to my attention now that spread your damage out, and in particular in round 1, because you're more than likely coming back for round 2. You don't need to destroy that. Take away. There's 9 tiles. There's 8 tiles. Even maybe if there's 6 or 7 tiles, just take away the 8 points. Take away the 8, 9 points. Don't worry about the bombers. If you get lucky, you might get lucky, but lucky can sometimes be unlucky because of this. But if you've only got 1 or 2 fighters on one bomber and then the other 2 on another bomber, you've only got 3 bombers on the tile, so if you're wanting to chuck 9 fighters in there, you're going to have 3 on each. Well, you could try it a different way, but you know what I'm saying there. But anyway, good point, I think. Good comment. Nothing. Yeah, this was me sort of leaving a question in there about how you resolve the fighters in the burst step. It says nothing in the rules dictates the order in which you resolve the fighters in the burst step. So even if you've got a line of them, if we've got green leader 2 and 3 here, and we're attacking a bomber here, and we attack with us first. We don't need to pick him to go next. We could pick him or somebody behind him or go to another tile. There's no set. I mean, I did think that was right. It didn't seem like there was anything in the rules to say that, but it's always nice to get a bit of backup with these things. I'll take low ammo over a hit. Yeah, just some other things. Okay. Right, okay, the comments. There's quite a lot here from 333. This is where I picked most of the stuff. Some of the comments not related to what we were just talking about, but there are some. This is where Stu mentioned it. This is Tim and also patrol. You only need average 7 points per patrol now to reach an excellent outcome for the chapter. There are markers. This is from Stu. There are markers from various ace privileges, and I was like, are there? And I was so I had to go and look, and yes, there are. I mean, I just looked at the fact this says ace on it, but this little icon here means something, and this little icon means something, and this one means something else. So they're obviously on all the ace. There's a slippy one there as well. Slick, isn't it? There's a slick one. Yeah. So they are there. So I probably should try and maybe just bring the count. Yeah, I'll probably try and put them into good use, I hope. What have I done there? That's what we're trying. Right, okay. So yeah, thanks for that one, bringing it to light. We'll have to find another day. That's from Tim. Yeah, afraid there's bad news to come, Tim. There's bad news to come. Well, now there's bad news to come for Stu as well, but yeah, when here's Stu saying, I said cancel it because I think I had a 5, and he says cancel it. He says, I said cancel it because I can never throw higher than a 4. So, fair enough. This is a bit about reviewing the next marker. Yeah, we've resolved all that. I'm not going to go there. I was a little confused to how did he add anything more to this? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not quite sure I understand them there. And then he's replied, you're in chapter 3, lose cards, follow the sequence of play, you know what to do. Ah, right, I see what he's saying. He's saying that I shouldn't be using the sequence of play cards anymore. Yeah, fair enough. Listen, it's my game, Stu. It's my game, right? Okay, right. Revealing it. Right. This is where he brought sort of his point decks of games playthrough on how to do an escort reaction. And I went and watched it, and the guy, like I say, he's got 2 fighters. He draws an escort reaction that does 2 cards. He gives 1 card to each of them, and he resolves the escort reaction. Which, yeah, fair enough. So yeah. So Tim commented, that's probably why I thought it worked that way originally too, because I watched this. Because I watched this playthrough before I started my campaign, so you watched it as well. However, the designer says differently. Designer trumps playtest, in my opinion. I mean, that's the way I look at it too. But yeah, that's the way I've always played it. And well, Stu's not going to move from that. He's going to BGG it. We've seen the BGG thread. I butt in and say maybe a playtester, but he's doing it wrong according to Jerry. Wiggle away says, but if a fighter gets attacked 4 times, for instance, it would be lost contact. I disagree, and say that if he just does 1 round in the 4 combats, then I still see nothing that says he should be lost contact. He says he's going to play it that way. He's been playing it for 18 months. I say I'm not getting him to budge from that, but I'm not trying to get him to budge. But I suppose what I'm saying is I'm not going to budge because the designers tell him he's said how it should be played. That's his words. If he comes along and tells me something different, I'll change it. The designer is God when it comes to this kind of thing. Would love you to watch you play I, Napoleon. I've heard of that game, but it looks a bit light for me. But anyway, I said it's your game. It's your game. Would love to watch. And then looks too light for me, but then I know little about it. Okay, right, we're going into too much. I think that is it. And then some latest comments from the last part that I've got released at the moment, which is Chapter 3, Patrol 4, Part 1. And we've moved on a bit since then as well. Yeah, Weatherschmitz, Germany's super secret advanced fighter program. They fire lightning bolts, brings a whole new meaning to Blitzkrieg. Yeah, that was me getting a bit tongue-tied and making a bit of a joke about it. Yeah. At first, I was going to challenge this one, but I realised what he was meaning at first. I don't even need to talk about that one though. And this one, yes. Lucky Charm just says you can cancel an icon on the card. It doesn't say the icon has to affect the pilot. That is a Lucky Charm. It says you figured it out. So I did eventually come to that conclusion, but I think initially when I was looking at it, I was starting to think, oh, it can only affect him. But good to get again a wee bit confirmation there that we did do it right in the end. Okay, that'll do for now. So I'll probably when I when I review this bit back, I will probably say hang on. That I've left a bit of junk at the end here. Well, I don't see it as junk. Any kind of rule stuff, comments about things, bringing things, confirming things. Yeah, is it all confirmed and clarified? Are we all clear? Yeah, well, maybe not. The designer could do with stepping in again and saying something about that to make it a bit better, I think. But we'll see if that happens or not. Yeah, but I'll probably put a comment in the header saying if you don't want to listen to all this at the end of the video. Okay, this was the completion of Patrol 5, wasn't it? Yeah, so we're going on to Patrol 6, so I'll be back with that very soon. Okay, cheers.